Hello, everyone, and welcome to our YouTube live show. How are you doing, Rach?
I'm very well, especially after yesterday's video. That was quite a surprise, wasn't it?
It was a really, really good surprise. Wanted to just say hello, all of you royal community members out there. We are a YouTube channel for people who love the royal family. So if that's you, make sure you're subscribing and liking the video. Now, we know we've got a lot of people that may potentially want to talk about their comments. There is a platform for you. It's in the comment section. Let us know. We'll bring you in at the end. So, Rach, tell us everything. There was rumors, wasn't there, that Catherine may potentially come back to royal engagements, and then all of a sudden we get this 3 minute long video, and I think it's kind of like it didn't break the internet, but it's like whoa in the royal community, it was a massive shock.
Yeah, I'd heard rumours circulating about that she may be potentially coming back to Remembrance Sunday, which will be in November, and then her Christmas Carol concert, which I thought would be nice events for her to go to if she's not coming back to full-time royal duties. And then you actually text me and you was like, what's this about a video? And I was like, I honestly thought you meant the announcement video when she was first diagnosed with cancer. And I was just like, what do you mean? What video? And then obviously I just looked on social media and I saw it on Twitter or X first. And then I went over to their Instagram and they had posted. So it was I kind of didn't expect like what it was going to be like. I was quite when I was watching it, I was quite teary, and then I messaged Shell and I was like, "Don't watch it," because Michelle was at work. I was like, "Don't watch it. Just wait till you get home."
Yeah, there was this moment, wasn't there, Rach, where I was scrolling on my dinner break, just looking at Instagram, and all of a sudden I was like, hang on a minute, what? Hang on. And they were kind of showing pictures that I've never seen before. And I thought, hang on a minute, what's going on? If anyone knows, Rachel's going to know. So I sent a quick, because it wasn't on Instagram at the time. And I've deleted X/Twitter from my phone. So of all the days, I didn't have Twitter on my phone. And yeah, you are completely right. I watched 15 seconds of the video and I literally had, do you know when like you're gonna cry, but you can feel the rims of your eyes fill with water before it goes into the middle? I was like, oh no, can't do that right now. I've got customers, I've got this and that too. What's the word? Front facing in my role. So I'm just like, I can't do this right now. And we were just kind of messaging back and forth, but it made me cry so hard. Like I say, just the 15 seconds, I saw Catherine driving and I started crying. Like, I just knew this was going to be one of the most intimate, like a real snapshot into them as a family. And as soon as I saw her driving, I was like, well, we've seen pap shots of her driving, right? But this isn't normal. This isn't normal royal content. Hang on, this is really different. And we've mentioned before, Rach, that the 10th wedding anniversary video was very intimate and showing a side of the Wales family that we'd never seen before. This went to a different level, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have said the same since the video was released yesterday. But I think it was the most personal, poignant, and intimate video we'll probably ever see from them. And I think the way that this was released to announce Catherine has come to the end of her cancer treatment was like basically a thank you to the public for supporting, especially after the whole cake gate. Because we actually did a video of that the other week, didn't we, Shell? Of has the Princess of Wales's reputation been affected by cake gate? And I think from this video released last night, it's only made us as royal fans love her even more, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. So let's just give you the details of it. Like I say, it was a 3-minute video. It was released on the 9th of September, if you're watching this in the future, 2024. And it was showing the Wales family. We did have a little cameo of the Middletons, which we'll talk about in a moment. The video was narrated by Catherine herself. And she said that she's finished her preventative treatment and that she'll be back to royal engagements over the next couple of months if she's feeling able. Obviously, this isn't verbatim. This is me just picking out a few things, and also there was this feeling of like she's really grateful the support of her family and the outpouring of love from everyone around the world, which is exactly what you just said, Rach. And also, I just loved how she finished this video. That she's walking side by side with those who have cancer at the moment. Like it hasn't finished yet. Her treatment has finished, but there's still a journey. There's still a process there that she's still navigating.
Yeah, and I think that's what's important to remember is although she's finished her treatment, it doesn't mean that she's cancer free. So I think that's why she's not going gun ho back to royal duties. She's going to take her time. I think we will start seeing her do a few engagements over the next coming months because, like she said in the video herself, like she's looking forward to going back to work, and probably thinking about that. That's probably been like a goal for her to keep striving towards in this journey that she's been on. So yeah, I think like you said when she mentioned about hand in hand, side by side with people that are going through the same that she has, I think it makes her actually really more personable. And you could really tell that through the video as well, that she, like you said, like she was just so grateful. And yeah, just the video itself artistically just shot so beautifully.
Yeah, it's by Will War, who I've never seen any of his stuff or whatever. So again, it's nice, like you said, Rach, that the cinematography of it is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think what was lovely was that, like you said, we saw that snapshot into them as a family in their non-royal lives as such.
Yeah.
So it was it was lovely to see that side of them and how affectionate and loving William and Catherine are to each other, even after all these years that they've been together. That was just so heartwarming to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially all the rumors. There was so many rumors of affairs, and they don't, I'm not going to get into the whole they don't hug thing. That's a different podcast. But it's like, yeah, it was so affectionate, and I think it was exactly what was needed for the tone of the video. Yeah, it was honest, wasn't it? It was intimate. It was so beautifully shot. I think I don't know whether they've actually brought out this information, but I'm assuming that was shot in Norfolk, right, where Amner Hall is.
Yeah, it was shot last month in August in Norfolk.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that's those forests are their private grounds that they live on.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Oh, I love it.
And I think as well, it was so authentic to them because we've seen them on engagements before. They've both spoken about how important nature is, in terms of their own mental health, to get out there, be part of nature. And I think what the video showed as well was those shots of Catherine just by herself. You could really tell she was, obviously she knows she's on video, but she was breathing in the air as if to, say like, oh, like this is a weight off my shoulders as such. Yeah. And not just that, I think I can imagine throughout this whole journey that she's done a lot of that, going for walks by herself in those grounds or when they're at Windsor, and just thinking about what's to come, what she's gone through, just feeling really grateful for everyone's support. So yeah, I think as well, can we just mention the children, how happy they looked in that video?
Yeah. Again, we saw that in the 10-year anniversary video. And we will, again, Rachel, we've always said every time we see the children, it's not a oh, let's just show the kids for you know, kids' sake. They do really have these deliberate moments where they allow you to see the children. This was a wonderful way of seeing more of their personalities. I love the whole caterpillar on the head, the hair thing. I just love that because it's so real, isn't it? When you're in the countryside, anything could happen at any time.
Yeah, exactly. And then just the kids just, you know, climbing and running around. And I loved the affection between William and Catherine with the children. Like, you saw a lot of hugging, a lot of kisses. There was a shot when I think they might have been on the beach, or they was on grass or something, and Catherine was lying down. It looked like William was, you know, as we know at the moment, he's got a bit of a beard going on, which we love.
Keep the beard, William. We like it.
And it was like he was like rubbing his face against hers, and then you could see Charlotte and Louis, and I was like, oh, not in front of the children.
I think it's so lovely to see your parents having a, you know, like a nice moment of just like fun, loving kind of, yeah, just a healthy relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Shell, what did you think of Carol and Mike? Because they made appearance, didn't they?
I screamed when they came on. I wish somebody was with me because I seemed like I don't know what my neighbours thought. I screamed. It literally was just amazing to see them because they are the shadows of the Waleses in a support system way. You know, we hear of them, we see them in certain aspects. We see them at the Christmas Carol concert that Catherine puts on in the year, or we see them at Wimbledon. But actually, they are so fundamental in the success of Catherine and William. Not just that, but you know, support system as parents and as grandparents. This is something I think the video really shone a light on, actually, is how cancer not only affects the person who's suffering from it, but the wider people who love that person, and how much of a support network you really need when you go through something like cancer. And this was a perfect example. And I think we had this conversation yesterday, Rach. We kind of assumed that they may potentially have brought maybe a shot of King Charles and Camilla, Queen Camilla in as well, you know. But I don't think it was necessary. I think like it's all about Catherine, and her family support was her mum and dad. So I really loved it. I was shocked, actually. I was really shocked that they were in there, but I really did like that they were in there because, like I say, they are the shadows in her life, really. They support her so much without saying much, and without having, how do I want to put it? Like, they're just that silent, strong support for her, which is exactly what you need at that time.
Yeah, and I think it showed that they have been there not just physically but emotionally for the whole family, really. Because I can imagine, especially when William's in on engagements, that Mike and Carol have been there to take the children to school, pick them up. You know, I think they've said before, we've heard before, that they don't rely on nannies. We know that they did have one nanny, but it makes me wonder if Mike and Carol have really stepped into not the nanny role, but just being there to not only take care of Catherine, but to take care of the children as well. Because at such a young age, it's such a tumultuous thing to go through, isn't it? And just it affects the whole family, and especially children at such a young age, because they probably don't really understand what they've probably been told, but they probably don't really understand too much of what's going on.
Yeah, and actually on that point, Rach, what I found really upsetting when the cancer announcement was given by Catherine it was in March. I can't even remember what month. It's in March. There was this moment where she said about her and William telling the children and having this time for them as a family to understand what that meant. And this video actually showed how they have also absorbed that information, and how they've all supported Catherine and just stayed as a family unit, and were able to have these normal family moments during that time. So obviously it's not everybody's journey who has or is going through preventative cancer treatment, but that's Catherine's, and it's quite an interesting way to say, do you know what, we're okay. Like it sucks, but it's like this is what we're doing with it. And I'm just so relieved, to be honest. I'm really am relieved that she's finished her treatment. I also thought that we wouldn't hear anything. So it was, honestly, I was beaming from ear to ear and crying lots yesterday. Yeah, I think it also was because I've just come back from holiday. I did have a bit of holiday blues, so I think that all connected to it. But yeah, it was such an amazing video. I really enjoyed it.
And I think, like I said earlier about her not being cancer free yet, it's important to remember, because William was actually on an engagement today, and there was a well-wisher in the crowd that wanted to pass on her good wishes to Catherine. And he said, I think he obviously knew a lot of people had seen the video, and he said, it's good news, but there is still a long way to go.
Yeah.
So this journey isn't complete yet for them. But I think it was just so lovely that they chose to share it with us, and in that way.
Yeah,
because
100%.
like you said, the 10th anniversary video we thought was, we've said it so many times, one of our most favorite royal videos of all time. And then I actually said to you, I think this is on par or even tops the 10th anniversary video, just because of the intimacy and the personal level and nature of the content that we were given yesterday.
100%. And I also think it's also how we have this idea of the royal family being royal, right? They don't kiss, they don't touch, or whatever. They do. We obviously know that they do. But this was them as humans. This was them without the duty. This was them as a family just coming together. This was them as a husband and wife who've been together for a long time and are still in love with each other and are still supporting each other through thick and thin, because that's what marriage is. And there was this, I feel like, a renewed sense of like our marriage is there, and it's all good. They, with everything that's gone on in social media, royal community, I do not need to tell you what I mean. You know what I mean. I think as well, this video did a really nice wrap up of what they want to tell people. So it was a really good PR way of saying our marriage is strong. We're handling this. Like, this isn't a good thing to go through. It's like the worst thing that we could go through. But look at us, like, thriving through it. And we've had some good news which we'd like to share with you. But that doesn't mean that Catherine's back to normal duties tomorrow, because that's not the thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And this whole video is just such, as I say, such a surprise. And I didn't ever think we'd get a video like this from the royal family, not just William and Catherine, but the royal family.
Yeah.
Because we've said it time and time again, you know, we've all watched documentaries about the royals and think we know a lot. We see them in engagements and we feel like we know them. But William said before, I can't give my whole life to the public. There's some parts I have to keep for myself. And the fact that they shared the video and the news in this way, I felt quite honoured that they gave us this in this format.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a very good point, actually, Rach. And also, I wonder whether they would have given a video like this had the Queen still been there. Maybe, you know, with a change of monarchy, it does feel a bit fresher. The socials are a bit different. Or could it possibly be because we demand more from them because they didn't give us enough back in January, back in December? What, you know, fill in the gaps there, royal community. It's maybe they are listening, maybe they are responding. I would also say as well, there was lots of, when with the video in particular, and with everything with the royal family, there's always metaphors, there's always symbolism. You know, you've got fallen logs, you've got, you know, she's not out of the wood, she's, you know, even with I think of the other pictures she had, where she had that like green blazer and she was in the woods, and then they kind of hark back to that within the video, like you said, Rachel, of her looking up into the sunlight. So it kind of connects all the way through to like how she's drip fed some information to us, and then also these being out in the sunshine, being out in with this vast sea, in nature, in countryside. It was so hopeful, it was so natural, it was so healthy. It was a new life, it had all that symbolism into it. And yeah, it's not lost on me, let's put it that way. I love the symbolism. I love all that. I will say this, I probably have watched it about 5 times already. Royal community, if you can beat my 5 times, let us know in the comments.
I think it's also important to add that I did see some criticism of the video. Some people were saying maybe the video could have shown her with other cancer people that are going through cancer, other cancer patients. Maybe they could have shown her actually having treatment, but I think that would have been too much. I think that might have been a bit triggering for some people as well, because obviously their journey is looking forward, but some people are not so lucky to have that. So yeah, I think it's important to add, because although we as royal fans loved it, there was some criticism on that part as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think another bit of criticism for it is if you muted Catherine's voice, it looks like a brilliant holiday advertisement for Norfolk. Like it like you said, it doesn't really hark back to any cancer journey, but then actually I don't think it needed to. The narration brought that in. But I do understand people's criticisms of that. And as well, it's also a very privileged person and their privileged journey of cancer. Not everyone has that ability. So again, that's something that I've heard other people saying. But how can she, like, she's got the money. If I had the money, I'd do it myself. Do you know what I mean? So it's a hard one, isn't it? It's a really difficult thing to navigate with private healthcare over National Health Service. I think for me personally, Rach, when I was watching this video, I loved the bit where the kids were like, "Is this on?" Like with the camera, and it kind of made you feel like it was a home movie, but then there was bits where obviously you knew that it was being directed. So I think that's a really hard thing to do, to have something that is so scripted, as in like storyboarded, shall we say, but feel so natural. And I think that's where the director did an amazing job. And also to have those intimate moments with your husband, with your kids, and to have somebody there taking the video of it. Again, that's a really hard thing to do, and I think they did it so well.
Yeah, I just want to add, I'm really sorry if you're watching on the replay or you're watching live, if this is breaking up, because Shell, you are breaking up for me. It's pouring down with rain outside.
It's pouring here
my
as well.
Or your internet. So it's probably not a good combination.
I was going to say, I'm all good here and you're coming up as all good. So we'll keep going for a minute. And I will say this, royal community, there's literally a spider right there. It's just started crawling. So if he comes any closer, I'm going to turn off my video and sort him out. I've got a spider catcher thing. I'm not going to kill him, I promise. Love it. Yeah, Jennifer's just said it's not breaking up here, Rach. So I think it's you, girl.
Okay, good.
All right.
Just in case.
So a few things before we wrap up. The first is they've changed their Instagram profile picture to the more kind of like natural forming one. I'm just going to sort this spider out, Rach. You carry on going, girl. I'm going to see if I can turn off my my video. Hold on. Where am I?
Yeah, they've updated the profile picture to one of William and Catherine. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out. And also, Catherine's brother James left a message on the video. I think it says something like, "I've never been more proud," or something along the lines of that. It was so sweet. I posted that in our Instagram stories yesterday. So again, make sure you go and check that out. But yeah, it's just been such a, as a royal fan, just such a I think the word is jubilation, because I think a lot of us have felt without Catherine, the King's also going through his cancer journey. We lost the Queen 2 years ago. You know, the anniversary has just passed. It's been quite tough going. And I know a lot of people have not fallen out of love with the royals, but they've fallen out of love with royal watching, because we haven't had them as much as we have the last few years. So, and especially Catherine, she's such an integral part of the family, and why a lot of us love royal watching. So I think it's been quite difficult. And I think yesterday's video really, it brightened people up, it made people cry, but it also made people really, really happy as well. So it was just such a lovely thing to happen yesterday. And as royal fans, we were just so elated.
Can you hear me, Rach?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. I completely agree with you. I think there has been a bit of apathy when it comes to royal watching. I think the energy level has kind of fallen back slightly. Obviously, with the King's diagnosis of cancer, then Catherine's. And we've had a very bare bones of royal family engagements. Fair enough, we've moved into the summer season, and that always happens. But pre that, I honestly really did think that King Charles would ask some of the other princesses to step up and do a few more engagements. So I'm really surprised that hasn't happened.
Yeah, I never thought it would happen. I've said this all along that, you know, usually Beatrice, they have jobs and careers of their own. We do occasionally see them. Obviously, we saw them at the Platinum Jubilee. We didn't really see much of them at the coronation either, in the festivities for that. So I think although they hold royal titles, unless something drastic happened, then I just never could see that happening. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't be prepared to step up more. Maybe there has been conversations behind closed doors. We won't ever be privy to that. But I think maybe as well, they were testing the waters to see how much Edward, Sophie, the Princess Royal could still take on without having Catherine. Obviously, William wasn't doing as many engagements as he usually does. The King, the Queen, Queen Camilla, she's even stepped up in her royal engagements. So I never saw that happening personally, but I know a lot of royal fans either wanted that or thought it should happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I, as a royal watcher, would have just liked it. I would have liked to have seen those, Zara, Beatrice, Eugenie, Lady Louise. Get Lady Louise up there. Get her in an engagement or two. Because what's the point in having a title if, yeah, that's just my thoughts. Anyway, move on. I also found the juxtaposition between the media very different. So when you look at Kensington Palace versus Buckingham Palace and how they've both dealt with the cancer of their principal members in very different ways. The King has been kind of keep calm, carry on kind of thing. Catherine's had more of a holistic stepping back and looking after herself and coming back in when she feels ready. There isn't a right or wrong there. I just feel like it's a very different media. They're using social media and they're using even the mainstream media in very different ways for the same topic, if that makes sense, Rach. So I just found it quite interesting. And also it would be nice to have like a video of the King and because he's gone through that as well, and I sometimes I forget, oh yeah, because he's not back in a way he was before, but he has cancer, right? He's not cancer free yet. Yeah, and I just want to also kind of lean towards him and his journey as well, and we haven't been privy to it. And obviously that's his prerogative. It's his health. He gets to decide how much or how little we get to know about it. But yeah, I just felt a little bit like, oh, but we like you too, kind of thing,
I think it must be going well though, because they have announced today the dates for the Royal Tour of Australia and Samoa. So that is definitely going ahead. So I think that's a good sign of, the king is 73, to be able to travel all the way to Australia. He's got, he wouldn't be going if his doctors advised him not to. So the fact that that's going ahead makes me think that we may potentially get an update on the king's health soon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a point where his doctor was advised not to go to New Zealand. So, yeah, I mean, because when you go, to the other side of the world, you want to make the best of it and see as many people as you can. But obviously, with his health, he needs to be able to do that as well. I also wondered about the timing of it, because didn't this get released the day after, or was it the day after that it was the second anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's death and the King's accession? So it feels like it's, I don't know. Was that a strange time to release it? Was it the perfect time to release it? What do you think?
Well, I also heard that it was apparently the anniversary of the day that they announced that Catherine was pregnant with Princess Charlotte.
Oh, really? See, it's like, yeah. There's just
Yeah.
so many like synergies, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, good PR wise, I guess, because 2 years. I think if it was like 1 year on, it would be like, oh wow, this is, because we said it before, Catherine is our future queen, so we kind of not expect, but we kind of in a way need to know what's going on with her. Like, I don't need to know the ins and outs, but just what's going on. Is she okay? Is she not okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I also felt a lot of empathy towards William, and not just because he had to be a support network for Catherine, but also he's had his wife, diagnosed with cancer, and then also his father. So that must have just taken it, like, mentally. That's a lot, and emotionally to deal with. And look at him, beard, out there doing engagements. I mean, it's remarkable, really.
Yeah, and again, I think the video really showed, obviously this is Catherine's journey of going through this, and it affects the whole family. But I think in a way they've really supported each other, because it wouldn't be lost on Catherine how much of a toll this has taken on William. And like you said, like what he's been going through with his father, and then his wife gets diagnosed as well. And that just must have been so much to take on. It's just incomprehensible. So I think they've really relied on each other. And the naysayers that say, oh, they're not in love or things like that, the cheating, I'm like, watch this video. You cannot get two people more in love than William and Catherine. Like, don't even tell me that these two people are not in love with each other. I'm sorry, but I just would not believe that.
Yeah. And also we have to bring him up, Prince Harry. And I did think straight away watching this, Rach, we don't know whether they message back and forth. We have the press telling us that they don't. We don't know that for sure. But if that is the case, then actually Prince Harry is now in getting his information the way a royal watcher would be getting their information. I'm not sure whether he has seen it or not, but I don't know. It just made me think of him straight away. Like, oh, if he sees this, regardless of what's gone past, when something happens like that to somebody who you care about or potentially did used to care about, I don't know how he feels about them now, but for me, I just felt like, oh my gosh, if he now knows that he's finding out when we're finding out. I don't know that for sure, you know what I mean? And my brain just went straight there to Prince Harry, so far away in California. Yeah, and did he find out the way we found out,
Yeah, that must be so strange. And I always think times like this really bring people together. If anything, it'd be something along the lines of this. But you know, we haven't seen Harry in the UK for a while. I don't think the royals will be making a trip to the US anytime soon. So like you said, like we don't know what's gone on. Maybe there's been chats, maybe there's been video calls. We'll never know, well, unless they tell us. But it must be quite hard as well, because this is all going on with his family and he's missing out on it.
Yeah.
He's not privy. He's not going to be privy to everything that he would have been privy to before.
Yeah, especially because I think if he was still within the fold, then he would have taken a massive role as a support within that, you know, within Catherine's uh journey of with her treatment and with the king's. It's, we think anyway, obviously with his book and everything else, it kind of paints a different picture, but yeah, I don't know, I just felt that way straight away when I watched it, like, oh, you know, maybe Prince Harry is finding this out the way we are finding this out. And you know, anyway, I'm my final thoughts on it. I absolutely love the video. I love it. I love the kids. I love, do you know, the one bit that I love the most is when Catherine kind of just hugged George. I just love that. Like, he's getting big now, isn't he? He's like, Mum, like, leave me alone. But it was just so, like, he's the future king. She's like, yeah, I just loved it. I really, really did. And I also loved, we covered this way back when in 2021 on the podcast, Keeping Up with the Windsors. If you're watching us on YouTube, we have got a podcast. Find us on all the podcasting platforms. We had an episode where Charlotte had her picture taken with a butterfly. Can you remember this? It was for the big butterfly count way back when. And it just reminded me of that. Like, she's holding the butterfly and then it flies off. And I'm just like, oh, like, I just love symbolism. I love it. Full circle moment. Just absolutely love it. So, yeah, Rach, any final thoughts on the video?
Yeah, just as I said before, so touching, moving, emotional. What other words can I think of? Intimate, personal. There's just so many. The music that was played throughout, and then right at the end when she was saying about I just want to read this quote from her. She said, "To all those who are continuing their own cancer journey, I remain with you, side by side, hand in hand. Out of darkness can come light, so let that light shine bright." And at the end I was like
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let that light shine bright. And everyone out there listening to us right now, whatever that is in your life, just let light shine bright. Let love into your life. I don't want to get all evangelical on you all, but yeah, let's just this is a happy moment. Like this, like you said, Rach, this is about her now trying what was the word she used about being cancer free? I just love the way that she did that. I actually wrote it down. I'll see now, but it's so important, isn't it, to keep that. I'm reading it now as I'm talking. Where did she say it? Doing what I can to stay cancer free is now my focus. That is what she's written, and that is just, we're with you on it, girl. 100%, we're behind you, and we wish nothing for the best for you, your family, and for, you know, and for the king as well. You know, we hope that he's well, and we're really looking forward to covering the tour he's doing in October with the Queen as well. So yeah, any final thoughts, Rach, before we go to comments?
I think I've said it all, Shell.
Keep watching it. I love it. Even with the 10th year anniversary video, I still go back and watch it. I love it. I love it when Catherine's wearing the hat. She needs to wear those hats more. Okay, so Kathy Corns. Let's see. Can we show yours? Here we go. Hello from, oh, actually, what I'll do is, I think you wrote a little bit more on this one, so let's do this one. Hello from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Hello. I've just finished binge watching your entire podcast on Apple. I've been a royal watcher for the better part of 60 years. Love your podcast. Thank you so much. There's a lot of episodes there, so that should have kept you busy. 100%. Thank you so much. Now, Jennifer said, we got to see inside Amner Hall. And actually, reading this, Rach, it didn't even fathom there was inside Amner Hall, because I thought, oh, they're with the Middletons, it's probably in their house. Was it Amner Hall? Was it inside?
It was Amner Hall, and I'm not gonna lie, when that scene in the dining room / kitchen where they were playing cards, one of the photos I did actually like zoom in to see like what I could see in the background. I love having a good nose at people's houses.
Love it. Carrie, you said you just joined. Well, welcome. It's been so surprising and such wonderful news. Loved the video. Our sentiments exactly, Carrie. Absolutely. Oh, okay. So Tara, what did Tara say? She says, can you read that, Rach? Is it on your screen?
Yeah, I would have to go a bit closer. She says, a great, I can't read it, shall we?
Okay, no problems. I just didn't want to see like I was reading them all. Hello from Missouri, USA. A great flirty, cute video of William and Catherine being together, and it's good for the kids to see their parents in love. That's what I think. Playing cards was such a personal moment that families can relate to. Thank you so much, Tara, for that. And also, I saw on Instagram today, do you like these Instagram pages who look at all the clothes or look at what they're wearing or items that they have, and then they just scout it out? I honestly think they should be that is like a specific skill, and I think there's like a FBI or something out there that might like, it's amazing how they do this. Anyway, they found out that the playing cards are from the RAF, like what's that, like a charity.
The Breeze Norton, didn't they? They went to Breeze Norton.
Yeah,
and they visited that massive helicopter or plane, didn't they?
Yeah, but I love that they always stay true to what they're about. It's not just normal playing cards, they're RAF playing cards. I get with the program. Caroline wrote, I think it was perfect in every way and not over the top private, still monarchy enough. What do you think about that, Rach?
Yeah, I think this is kind of like the side of what I would hope the Queen Elizabeth II had in her life. Like, just very much a country person, but they're in these elevated roles that we can never fathom being part of, and they can't help that they've been into that world, or they've married into that world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're not gonna, that I think that was probably better than any celebrity video that I've seen for the past few years. It was just so polished and put together. But yeah, just them as well.
Yeah, and maybe because we are royal watchers, we know the difference between their public persona, their dutiful, kind of forward-facing way, and then them completely letting loose. And I will say, although we had still a narrated, directed 10-year anniversary, this was different, wasn't it? This was like the next level of intimacy, the next level of relaxed family life, because it was still like the kids, how can I put it? It's like, I think we said before with the 10-year anniversary, it was still looked like the clothes are being put together, whereas this is like, we just put anything on because like we're just in the countryside, we're at home, They still look great, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it was picked out, but do you see what I mean? It had like this easy breezy country vibe to it, and it was like, I don't think they got it wrong in any which way, if that makes sense.
And I think actually that's a good point, Shell, because Catherine, we always see her look immaculate, right? And this video, she didn't have her hair done. She was very natural. She was in her own clothes. I'm not saying that, I mean, like, she obviously has like her work outfits,
yeah,
and then her at home outfits, and yeah, it was just, even William looked more relaxed and more comfortable because he's surrounded by the people he loves the most.
And also, she wasn't wearing her engagement ring. She has her eternity ring on. So, and I feel like when she has her engagement ring on, she means like that's work. Because that is noticeable. That is part of her uniform, so to speak. When you're in the countryside, you're not going to be wearing a £500,000 ring to dig a, to sit on some logs with your kids or whatever. It's going to be in a safe, right? And so
Yeah.
again, that's going to be another difference that we see within this video.
But I did also think I'd noticed the ring, and I thought maybe it doesn't fit her at the moment. Maybe if she's
Possibly.
lost weight, it's too big for her. But I totally agree with what you're saying as well. But that thought did come to my head.
Yeah. Right. Katie have said, loved it. It was a breath of fresh air, so hopeful and made you feel their family love and support. It made me happy that no matter what happens in the future, she has the love and support of her family. Couldn't have said it better myself, Katie.
Yeah.
Could not have said it better myself. I think as well, I was just like super relieved to see her because you never know, right? You never know whether things are going right or, they're going in a different direction. So to see her in this just really, there was so much life to this video, right? And there's so much hope as well. So Petra has said, I would have liked to see few more royals out doing public engagements. Petra, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I do. 100%. It's I think moving forward in the next 6 months we shall see what's going to happen, because it has been very bare bones, hasn't it, Rach?
And also, you think when we have Remembrance Sunday, it's usually the same people. So you'll have Queen Camilla, Catherine, Sophie, Princess Royal, Timothy Lawrence. Princess Alexandra didn't go last year because she wasn't able to. She was unwell. The Duke of Kent, he's very old now. The Gloucesters are, I hate to say it, but they're not getting any younger either. So when the time comes and they are no longer with us, it's just going to be such a small handful of people that are representing the monarchy. And we don't, if we're thinking like, how old is George now? 11, 12?
Yeah, was he just turned 12? One or the other. He's just turned 11 or just turned 12. Can't remember which one.
So we've got years and years to wait until he takes on. I mean, don't get me wrong. We know William and Harry growing up, they did have official engagements even when they were at school. But if you think even like when George goes to university, he's not going to be taking on his full-time working role until he's probably like 23, 24.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a rumour going around at the moment that Lady Louise may potentially be going into some kind of army position. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I did hear that. So, and I never think that we'll see Lady Louise in a role. I just don't. And I think that's why Edwin and Sophie, like Zara and Peter, they chose not to, although they have titles, they're not titled Prince and Princess, which they could have easily had because of Prince Edward is their father, and obviously his mother was the Queen. But I can never see them in a royal role. So we've got a long wait until we get the younger royals, George, Charlotte, and Louis, taking on that royal role. So yeah, there's going to be not a lot of people that the monarchy can rely on.
Yeah, 100%. Petra, I'm going to pick you as our last comment. And you've said, this video let me exhale. I've been very worried for Princess Catherine. And again, wholeheartedly agree with you. It has been a very worrying time. And I think it's also shown that Kategate, this whole massive thing, has brought the Princess of Wales under the spotlight in a way that felt really unfair at the time. Personally, I felt, but actually what it's done now is it's whomever likes the royal family, we've all kind of banded together, and it's like we've done a massive virtual hug around her and said, we've got you, girl, like, take your time, take a bit of what's the word? You don't rush back. Take your time, feel healthy, and we'll see you when we see you. We don't need explanations. And then this was like a hooray! Yes, like we've been waiting, and this is our moment where we're just so happy to share in the news. So I feel like that was like one of those milestone, like a post in the journey of us being royal watchers. Like you've got this, and we totally trust that when it's time we'll find that information out. So yeah, I was just super pleased, super pleased. Do you think it's going to be one of those things, Rach, where we're just going to watch the video over and over again, like we do with the 10-year anniversary? I don't know. It's got a sad undertone, hasn't it, with what it actually is representing. So a positive, but you know what I mean. It's about cancer. So
yeah. I think it really will be, and I think this video will, you know, when we think of royal history, it's something that will be looked back on 100, 200 years from now, and it will be one of those pivotal moments, like one of those pivotal parts of royal history that comes up time and time again, of how the media, how social media in particular, really, you know, took this and made it what we know, as you said, as Kategate. And actually, this is, you take away the titles and it's just a woman with a young family that's gone through this horrible situation, but now there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that's the focus. And like you said, we couldn't wish anything but well wishes to her and the family. So
yeah,
as you know, royal community, we love Catherine, we love William, we love the children. So yeah, it's just been a good day, a good week for royal watching. We're on the up.
Yay! I'm so sorry, because I know that I said that I was going to finish off a Petra, but Raven Kale has just sent us a message, Rach, and let's see if you know who this is. Yay! Michelle and Rach, love you too. This is Danny, by the way. Hi, Danny!
Hi, Danny.
Danny is part of our VIP Royal community. If you want to be part of it, you can over on Ko-fi. I'll leave the link in the video description. Come on over. We've got a Facebook group. We meet every month with our Zoom calls. And yeah, thank you so much for commenting, Danny. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Royal community, what an amazing week we've had. It's so amazing to hear the news of Catherine. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the video. And yeah, we will see you very soon. We're hoping to come back next week, right, Rach?
Yeah, next week.
I think it was, yeah, next week. Because we were supposed to do this tomorrow, but we actually did it today because we were so excited. So we'll see you next week.
Let's see what the rest of the week holds. So in terms of royal news.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to subscribe to the channel. If you love everything to do with royal family, get over to our podcast. And also we've got so many vlogs on the channel for you to watch. So yeah, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next week on Keeping Up with the Windsors.
Bye everyone.